Destiny of Liberty by Mwanandeke Kindembo. The back cover of the book. About the author. Mwanandeke Kindembo is a Congolese author of self-help books. He's an engineer by profession, passionate about sharing ideas, most of them through writing. His appetite for writing emerged after graduation when he obtained a Bachelor of Engineering honors in Computer Engineering at TU Dublin. Subsequently, he became involved in philosophical, psychological, theological, and mystical works, which are the main subjects of his books. In this book, author Mwanandeke Kindembo presented the reader with his manifesto, or a shared reality that exemplifies his ultimate mission, which is based on finding within himself the motivation or the correct vision to improve the world around him. He showed us the geography of his passions and how he's ready to step in to lead people to the promised land of liberty. The author delved into his own hidden agendas to find a more realistic worldview based on direct experience rather than imaginary subjects. He placed more emphasis on the land reform, the history of the DR Congo, the social and cultural influence, economic and political struggles of Africa. The book is filled with drastic yet beautiful transformations that would change the course of the lives of many, change for the better, thereby enabling citizens to live according to their fullest desires and potentials. The authors demonstrated an ideal view that will progress over time to developing his own unique understanding of his process rather than relying on socially accepted belief systems. Inside the book, this project began on the 26th of January 2022. Portrait of Mwanandeke Kindembo, full name phonetic, Mwanandeke Kindembo. I want to take this precious time to dedicate this book to my continent, Mama Africa, and especially to my compatriots in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and any believer in the destiny of liberty. I am truly one of you. I come to you in the name of peace and love. O Africa, my love for you will never cease or end until I see that day that you get your full freedom with your children. I ask this in the name of democracy and all the attributes that are associated with the redemption and freedom of nations. Destiny of Liberty in big print, table of contents, introduction, preface, my visions, my confession, son of nation, refugee, stranger to danger, walk with me to freedom, free nation, voices of citizens, communities, independence, social and cultural influences, employment, corruption, deceit of power, cure of poverty, housing, decent roads, salary, protestations, bleeding nation, humanitarianism, in the name of action, peace and love, rest in freedom, the beauty of liberty, honest promise, cries of innocence, love of my country, the beauty of Congo, democracy, visions of freedom, the prophecy, last hope, summary, book description, and copyright page on 180. Introduction. This is a manifesto to demonstrate my beliefs and the values that are close to my heart and in my mind. It is a shared reality that I bring to attention. I strongly believe that you have read or come across many manifestos in your lifetime, but have you looked at the characters of the people who wrote the most intriguing manifestos and why they did it in the first place? Whether it is a yes or no answer, you always have the opportunity to work with me to find out my own reason for coming up with such an idea too. Let the journey begin. I am a Congolese engineer and author of self-help books. My appetite for writing emerged after graduation when I completed a Bachelor of Engineering honors in Computer Engineering at TU Dublin. Subsequently, I engaged in philosophical, psychological, theological, and mystical works, which are the main subjects of my books. I decided to take a different approach to life, which is to improve the lives of many instead of just the machinery. My mind and heart are on the political side of the coin, despite not having studied it in college or having any formal education in it. It was only through my self-study of political books and the ability to do research that I acquired during my 4 years at Technological University Dublin or TU Dublin. I firmly believe in education and a bright future that is always promised to the youth or the young and old generation. As you can see right now, it is not always a breeze to easily move from one domain to another without losing something great in return. Sacrifices must always be ready whenever you wish to take a different path in life. I was ready to lose everything to be able to improve the lives of my fellow human beings. I knew the self-help books category was still open for more great ideas. Education is endless in its form, just like learning has no limits either. For those who believe in astrological signs, I was born on November 11th, which makes me a Scorpion, according to the signs of the zodiac. And those who don't believe in it or haven't heard of astrology are still wondering why I even mentioned it here. This is because Scorpio people are mostly associated with a strong determination and are always open to change. It means that we are masters of transformation and conquerors of death and rebirth. The key word here is transformation, which made me to be who I am and communicate these words to you. True leadership can only be given to those who can adapt and conquer time. That is transformation in a nutshell. Because without transformation, there can be nothing new, and the citizens cannot expect any change from the newly elected leader. Therefore, it can be seen that I live authentically and stay true to myself. As a native Congolese, don't be surprised if I keep this book entirely private to my country, and don't despair because the same concept can be applied anywhere in the world. The universe should be our limit because we are all citizens of the same galaxy and the same universe. Do not be shocked either when I denounce capitalism and its effects on the society and the mixture of religions within the political powers of the state. The latter is not a new philosophy, as the results can be seen today in the United States and in many parts of the world where religion is restrained from interfering with the political affairs of those countries. My ambition is therefore to become the voice and messenger of this change that everyone is constantly talking about. I firmly believe that real change can only be achieved through deeds and not mere promises, which will not benefit anyone. In politics, those who claim that all is gold are the ones who despise change, because there's no time without change and there's no life without time. Not believing in time is also not believing in change. Preface. I know well the three main subjects that always stir people's minds, that is, politics, religion, and sports. These three attributes are known as the land of fanaticism. This book is based on the first attribute, which is general politics. Liberty has always been the cry of every nation through the ages. This is a fact that cannot be denied by people who seek their daily freedom in life, who doesn't want themselves, including their future generation, to live in full freedom. Even tyrants will always raise their hands because this is what every human being strives for on a daily basis. Desires may be different from individual to individual, but the end and the destinations are always the same for the majority of people seeking fame. On the other hand, let no one confuse the words destination and destiny. The first is when a person reaches the finish line, while the latter is when a desire must be fulfilled until you achieve your ends. It means it is a mean to an end, whether you reach it through luck, hard work, or your own ability. The greatest personalities have always been those who can identify opportunities and apply their great abilities for the common good of the whole nation. That is, serving the people who have supported you all along and attracting those who doubted your abilities in the past. In the case of governing a republican state, there is no definite ruler or final ruler of the state, simply because all citizens are free to express and demonstrate their capacities in broad daylight. This means that the president or the prime minister cannot claim to be the final ruler of that nation because the real power lies with the people themselves, those walking the philosophical path of humanitarianism instead of individualism, by putting people before profit and never exploiting them or unnecessarily taxing those who work. Therefore, any political party that does not respect or consider the importance of nature in general cannot be tolerated within society, and you cannot pretend to be treating nature in the best way when you force your own citizens to live in fear and depression because of poverty. There is no doubt that corruption is the first ingredient of poverty and suffering in any environment. People want peace, and above all, they want pure freedom that allows them to do their business serenely. Divide and conquer shall not be an option, as well as we all know that unity has always brought harmony throughout history, as this is also my only solution. Simply put, love should be your truest religion and humanity your priority in life. It is the only philosophical ideology that can help us reach the promising land of unity and make every citizen live up to the expectation. It is the method of combining different desires together and identifying common attributes that are shared by the majority in order to satisfy the needs of the greatest number. At the same time, it will give more time for a few to catch up or form their unique groups, which can also meet their daily needs. Because human behaviors cannot be predicted, we should also not expect all people to have the same mental thinking skills. This is where learning and teaching different concepts to others still matters, even as I speak today. As we all know that there is no freedom without the presence of equality, it will make no sense to leave out this greatest attribute. The ideology of my humanitarianism is placed above all simply because it demonstrates the care of nature and how we wish to treat our fellow human beings, including animals. The fact that nothing can be or go out of nature does not mean that the ideology of exploitation does not exist. We must always be prepared for those who are ready to exploit us in a way that does not respect the principles of our humanists. Liberals, or those who fight for egalitarianism, are also on the same path as those who put people before money. These are all philosophical ideologies. I was born and half raised in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, former name Zaire. Before reaching the age of 25-year-old, I spent the other half of my life in the Republic of Ireland. That means I've experienced several cultural changes into my life, and I believe that they've made me to be the person whom I am today. These changes have taught me the correct ways of living with different people and how to behave in an environment that I found myself in. Therefore, I'm always thankful to the Creator and my parents because of their visions of accepting us to travel through different places and experience life on a different scale. It is through traveling that I got the audacity to write from experience and the confidence to express my thoughts to the world, perhaps to the whole universe. I totally agree with the idea of the state having full control of the political, economical, and social aspects of the community, meaning that the country is displaying full sovereignty and not talking from the philosophical point of view alone, because I know that freedom does not come at free cost. Like everything else in the world, including free things, there's always a price tag on every single object that you receive. The price of freedom, death, is well known to everyone who comes to the table at the end of the day. It is not, however, to keep dreaming while staying idle or to keep praying for fortune to guide our path in the darkness. My vision is to illuminate the minds and cast aside ignorance in any form that it may present itself. At the same time, that does not mean going against any religious belief, nor does it mean applying the philosophy of idealism. I'm rather relying on the practical side of the theoretical practices. My belief is that the scientific approach is the best to follow, but it will be the greatest path only when it is conducted with the greatest minds within the state. That is because the beauty of science lies in the admitting your mistakes and then adapt according to the universe. Change is beautiful in science, whereas religions are immune to change and the old ideologies remain the same throughout the ages. I believe that true change can come only by mastering time, meaning that we ought to be open-minded to study the previous histories of the great men as well as to learn about our current times. Thus, mastering time by learning from the past and implementing the lessons in the present, while at the same time reshaping the future events according to our needs or desires. Moreover, I believe there are some benefits in regarding of having different religion of faith or religious beliefs altogether. That is because it is almost impossible to make people stop believing in something they have been practicing since their childhood. I cannot take that freedom of faith from the population or limit the freedom of expression within the society. There are many facts that can prove and back up these statements. I'll only recite a few of them. You can be a scientist in mind while still being religious at heart. Only the selected few on the top of religion possess this scientific knowledge. That is why most of the religious people are daily scolded and verbally abused by others for not knowing anything good about themselves and the world around them. My aim is to banish this mental slavery within the citizens and make them to turn their eyes on the scientific researches, those that will be capable to talk with concrete proof from experience and from experience gained through different experiments. Political changes does not just fall from heaven. It is an interaction or relationship between people and people, learning from one another and pushing each other forward to the road of success, meaning that the religious and scientific man ought to come together and try to enlighten one another on a daily basis, thus fighting ignorance and the fanaticism within the state. The main goal is to bring utopian sentiments rather than focusing on the dystopia of the society. My confession. I noticed that you cannot wait to hear my confession. It is the most beautiful and triggering word used in different religious practices. However, there's a different confession when it comes on the political level. It is not a secret that my continent, Mama Africa, has been divided for many decades, and the most shocking thing is that no one is fighting or willing to unite her. Every country in Africa is crying for its own, quote, independence. Not only that, but those who are blessed with the natural resources wish to keep all the wealth to themselves only. That is the main reason of division in Africa as we're talking today, in the 24th century. Famine welfare in general. The continent is filled with the smell of selfishness, which is capitalism at its highest form. Because only the few have good living standards as normal beings are supposed to be living, while the rest of the population are daily struggling to bring bread on the table. The Africans have suffered so much from the political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. In short, Africa has been brought back to its knees, and this generation cannot take it any longer. Immediate change is needed in many sectors to improve the standards of living. And how do I wish to do that without having any political power, you may ask? That is all correct, and that is my main reason of writing this manifesto in the first place. It is part of my confession to be given that chance to bring change and unity within my country as well in my continent. All of that is based on the trust that citizens have placed in me as one of their kind, ruling through the aid of the heart, feelings, or emotions, rather than through the mind that always seeks for division when it is in the overthinking mode. By using the word heart, I'm emphasizing the use of intuition instead of intellect alone. At the same time, it is not a bad idea to connect the heart and mind all together, thus following every feeling with reason and vice versa. Son of nation. As I've stated in previous paragraph, I was born in Baraka, Democratic Republic of Congo. Therefore, I am a Congolese, not only by birth, but both of my parents are Congolese, thus making me 100% Congolese too. My identity is that I'm an African, even though I consider myself to be the citizen of the universe. My philosophical idea is that I'm a materialist. That means I believe the Creator gave nature all known and unknown powers. Mother Nature, always benevolent and sometimes ruthless, nourishes us on a daily basis. My political views are that I'm a realist and humanist. My views are based on treating people equally and putting them before profit, or the famous saying of putting the family before work. However, the family demands wealth to continue. The work requires family support. Wealth needs someone, the family, to consume it. Otherwise, it will be boring to try to enjoy it in solitude, meaning that some put work first while others put their family first. The two have different opinions, but all are correct depending on the current situation. My economical point of view is based on the industrialization of the nation. This means that I'm interested in the increase of development within the society, those helping and meeting the demands of the citizens.